Welcome to Geeks of the North, a hobby and gaming podcast of the adult Pennsylvania. We're here to paint some miniatures and talk about the hobby, so why don't you sit back, relax, grab a paintbrush, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome to Geeks of the North, your hobby and gaming podcast of the Belle Province. As always, I'm your host, Paul Filio, here once again with the man, the legend, Antoine Bergeron.
Hello.
How's it going, sir?
Going good.
Good.
Good weekend.
Yeah, I had a productive weekend too. Not hobby-wise, but...
hobby-wise that was too, dead for me.
But, productive around the house, that grown-up stuff that we have to do occasionally.
Yep, exactly.
And, I can't complain too much. Because my wife might hear me. No, sorry. Yeah, so, it was fairly productive. We missed a week. Last week I sucked because everyone here was sick. And just could not get stuff going. You also were working on the tournament, or you just finished the tournament?
I just finished the tournament, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? You just finished that massive project. Everyone here is sick and tired and whatever. Like, just the 3 people that listen to us will have to wait 1 more week.
Yeah, we'll just take a small pause. Everybody will survive that.
Oh, sorry, I just went right through my finger with a pin vise.
Oh.
Yep, because I was pressing to try to start drilling into the model's foot, and the drill bit slipped. And the drill bit was harder than my finger.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah. Wow, that stung. Well, I won't bleed out from that, so it's all good. At least we get the part where I injure myself horribly out of the way right at the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm. Some people do enjoy that part of the show, it seems.
Well, yeah.
We get comments about it.
Wow. Oh, I brought a tear to my eye. Excuse me while I pick up the pin vise and try again. More carefully this time. Oh, no, the pin vise didn't slip. The side of the model's foot that I was drilling into is gone now. So that's how the pin vise jumped out. Well then.
The joy of pinning stuff that's too small.
Well, I've seen other people pin this model.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean it's not a pain to do it. Literally this time.
I guess I will go to a smaller bit. And the problem is, so I've got a whole array of pin vise pins because, that's what we gamers do. But I find that small in a certain size, it's so hard to use because the drill bits are super bendy, the pins are super bendy. Like,
yeah, the smaller ones really work well for resin and not so much for metal.
Yeah. But resin is, you can look at resin sideways and drill, that'll cut through it, so. Oh well. Yeah, so, I am working on a Pulp City model. That was me dropping part of my pin vise, if that came through the mic.
It did.
Oh, excellent, okay. It's gonna be one of those shows, Antoine.
Usually that's me. All those drops and those mishaps.
Oh no, there was a couple weeks ago where I lost parts of my model, glued my fingers together.
Yeah. Well, on the show, that's true, but in our other hobby evenings, I'm usually the one that...
That's true. Yeah. So I'm working on Pay Run from Pulp City.
Mm-hmm.
And he is in kind of a strange pose, I guess you could say.
Lift-off pose.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Kinda.
Anybody's ever seen any of the MCU Thor movies? Oh, right back into that thumb again. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. So, yeah. Excuse me. Okay. The pose he's in when he's armoring up and the lightning's hitting the hammer and he's, the pieces of metal are growing across his arms and stuff, and his arms are materializing. It's that pose, But for some reason, they decided to model him as if he was on his tippy toes.
Yeah.
So, it's really rather odd.
Yeah, to the matter fact that he's flying, so... But it makes for a strange pose, model-wise.
Yep. Oh, wow. Okay. Things, I don't even think I guess, like you said, it's takeoff. I guess I could kind of angle him. I think I'll just have to use his cape as the support. Once the finger stops bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
What are you working on, Antoine?
Pulp City?
Oh, huh.
It might become apparent pretty fast, but that might be a big theme for the rest of the episode. Yeah, I only have 4 models left to complete my arc, the Ape Revolution Committee. After that, I will have all those apes painted.
So I have to ask,
Mm-hmm.
Is it really a committee?
Yeah, there's multiple leaders and they don't agree on anything. That seems committee a lot to me.
Yeah, that sounds like a committee. Okay, then they are aptly named.
Yeah, so right now I'm working on Red Bella, one of those leaders. Of those not
Is she a red monkey?
Maybe. I'm not too sure on her race. But the model is painted reddish in the official studio paint job, so that's probably something. I don't know, red monkey doesn't ring any bell to me, in French at least.
Oh, no, sorry, you're talking about species. Oh, no, there's no species called a red monkey.
Oh, okay,
I'm asking, is she a red monkey? I mean, she's a monkey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm assuming, because she's part of your Ape Revolution Committee.
Yeah.
And, she's called Red Bella, so I'm asking if she's supposed to be painted red. That's all.
She has a nice red coat in the picture, so... Is it the coat? Is it the fur? Who knows?
I see. Speaking of fur, I had an interesting discussion with my 5-year-old tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was looking at my my Pulp City models I've got painted so far. And one of them is a character name of, I think it's Shashinka or something like that. She's like an ice witch. At least that's kind of what I get from looking at the model.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't actually read her card, but that's what she looks like to me. And she has like fur trim. I painted her mostly blue because, ice. And she has like a fur trim on her outfit. And my daughter was all upset that I didn't paint her all blue because she's, an ice person like Elsa. And Elsa is blue. And blue is my daughter's favorite color. So why is my model not all blue?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, because, the fur is fur colored. And she's like, well, what do you mean? To which I answered, what do you mean? What do I mean? I thought I was being fairly obvious with that statement. And she's like, well, why didn't you make it blue? I'm like, well, do you know what fur comes from? And she's like, no. So then I had to explain to her where fur comes from, and she was horrified. And then still wondered why I didn't make it blue.
That wasn't enough for her.
And I'm like, do you know of any blue animals that have fur? She had to think about it for a second. She's like, no. I'm like, well, then that's why it's not blue. So that seemed to satisfy her, and then she went to bed. But, I was on the ropes there for a moment. Gotta love kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great conversation. Of course, it made her late for getting upstairs for bedtime, and my wife was like, what are you doing? So, the voice of God called down and was yelling at our daughter for not being upstairs and ready to get ready for bed. And I had to tell my wife that it was my fault because I was having a discussion with her about fur. So I'm assuming, I'm assuming they'll be held to pay for that later. That's okay. This is the third time attempting to drill this thing. I am no longer trying to drill into the foot. This guy is getting a pin right through his cape. It'll be visible. I don't care anymore.
At least with the cape, there's more surface, so less chance of you going through your thumb again.
Yeah, well, I've already got like a big hole started, so it is fine. And the base is resin, so that won't be an issue.
So, you're painting Pulp City now. You've mentioned other models. What have you worked on in the last 2 weeks since we?
Oh yeah,
we missed an episode.
Well, I wasn't that productive. I finished a couple more things for my Circle of Ordos army.
Mm-hmm. Did you hit your goal?
Yeah, except for the basing. I didn't get the basing done.
Okay.
But I got the whole list is painted.
Cool. That's a good accomplishment right there.
So if I ever get around to playing that game again, I'll have a fully painted list for that army. There is a flaw to my plan. I was going to base this model, but I don't seem to have any glue. And I hear that's kind of necessary for gluing models together.
It helps.
So I've been told. Oh yeah, so I did the circle models. And then I painted, so far I've got 2 models completed, and 1 model nearly completed for my Red Republic faction for Pulp City. So I've painted Shashinka, as I mentioned, the Ice Witch, a armored villain called Universal Soldat, who seems to have like some sort of power armor and a electrified or energy-powered hammer and sickle. He's painted. I may do a little bit of freehand on him, because in the artwork he's got a Soviet star in yellow painted on his armor and a hammer and sickle. So I may attempt to do some freehand, because I'm feeling insane. That, and I keep posting these models on this on the Facebook group for them. And usually right after your models. So I feel like, I'm such a big letdown after you.
You have more comments and likes than I do, so that's good.
Well, I got 3 comments, right?
Yeah, that's more than I do. Finished models always gather less comments. Maybe not always, but that's a thing we've seen with the Yum too. Like, you show whips, and you get crazy amounts of feedback on them.
Well,
and you should complete the middles and silence.
Well, I don't know if 3 counts as crazy amounts of feedback.
No, but I mean, in general, it was the generic you and not you specifically. But wasn't it the same case for when you shared the Donrakar in the Gentron group? Yes.
Yeah, I get... yeah, that's true. There's always more comments for the work in progress model than the finished stuff. I guess people figure you don't need the encouragement anymore because it's done, so...
Maybe. Maybe.
It's the only thing I can think of. I don't know where my accelerator is, so I guess I'll have to sit there and hold this. Yeah, and then the last guy who's almost complete is Professor Hammer, who I have to admit I am more motivated to paint now because I discovered he has rocket fists in the fluff.
Oh!
Yeah, so he can do all his attacks and stuff as ranged abilities.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of his special abilities can be used as ranged too. He pays 1 more action die to do it, but then they become a range effect, which I think is awesome.
Oh, that's cool. I have not looked at those models yet, rule-wise. So.
He's got an ability that's called I Volunteer You, which sounds very Soviet Union. He's got another like in Soviet Russia, something does you or something.
Yeah.
You know that
I know
that joke that people make.
Yeah, that's the joke.
Professor Hammer. Apparently Professor Hammer is actually a real person, so let me add Pulp City to this Google search. I don't have the card in front of me. And having never played the game, I don't have anything memorized. In Russia, Hammer strikes you. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, whenever he gets damaged, he can use an ability back. Like, he can damage you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. Is he your leader, or?
Yeah, he's the leader.
Okay.
So yeah, he's got rocket fists.
That's fun.
Well, yeah. So I read the fluff piece for him, and he's like a crazy scientist or whatever, and he kind of hates everyone except for himself, and he's working on something, and he blows off both his hands and his lower part of his face. No. So then he gets annoyed because he has to take time and build a new lower part of face and the 2 rocket fists or whatever.
He gets annoyed because you have to take time to rebuild his own body.
Yeah, well, it slows him down, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. So I approved of that. And there's also some line there about his brothers that he had to sacrifice them for something. I'm like, yeah, you're going for all the tropes. Excellent.
He's a real good guy.
Well, he's good is such a relative term.
Mm-hmm, sure. I could agree with you that sometimes there's like a thin edge where you walk
Thin line?
on. Yeah, thin line you walk on. This guy seems pretty much subtly on one side of it.
Well, okay, maybe. In his fluff, they're time displaced, right? He's actually like a World War II era guy.
Okay.
And he gets to Pulp City, and he attacks. He orchestrates an attack on a squad of Supremes, like of heroes, and he basically like super violently cripples their leader.
Mm-hmm.
In a very public display, just for, to demoralize people and be a jerk. Like, you are a bad guy with 0 redeeming qualities. Excellent.
I'm glad we agree on that.
So yeah, it's been a fun little project to do these guys, and I don't have that many models. I've only got 6 total, because that was all available at the time when I ordered, and then because as we know, as we've discussed before, actually, Pulp City closed up, right?
Yep.
And he wasn't casting any new models. Just what he had was what he had, and that was it.
Yeah, just going through what he had at that
inventory.
point. Yeah, what inventory was left, and that was it.
So I ordered what I could, and that was that. And this is gonna look kind of bad, but kind of okay, I think. I'll just have to paint that brass rod black so it doesn't show like he's being supported by a rod up his butt, and should look fine.
Can you build up stuff on the base to hide it a bit?
Well, I probably could.
Your base are kind of urban rubble, aren't they?
Yeah. But I made the rod long, and I set it really far back on the base so I could make him look like he was quite a distance from the ground.
Oh, okay.
So, and I just glued it in place, so let me see if I can break this free now. Okay. So, yeah, if I sink the rod all the way, I could probably do something. I used a fairly big rod, though, because I figured it was going to have to support his weight.
Yeah, if you want it fully supported like he's in flight, you didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, so I used like the 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeters, like the...
Couldn't have you used maybe a flight, like a flight stand? The acrylic rods?
I don't have anything like that kicking around.
No?
That's not already part of a model? Nope.
I have a bunch of those, so maybe next time we can just clip your rod and glue it to a plastic one.
Well, I think it's okay, and I think that, like, the rod, like, it'll show if you're looking at the back of the model. If you're looking at the front, the angle will obscure it. From the side, the beam will sleep. I don't think it's that big a deal.
That's good.
I'll just cut it down since I had originally made it longer, like I said. I can get it out of the base. Okay. Anyway, yes, I'm sure people are loving listening to me cut brass rods and stab my fingers. So what about you? I have no games because my life, but.
I don't have much. Last time we were recording, I had almost finished working on Owler. He's been finished since, I think, the day after our last recording. And after that, I painted the Primate of Power, which is one of the three small monkeys that acts as leader for the arc in Pulp City 2. They've both been based and completed since. And that's almost all the hobby I did. I cleaned the last models I have for my arc, the Primate of Mystery, the last of the trio. So he was not ready. His base was already done, but he was not cleaned yet. So I just removed the tab, filed it, so he's ready to be painted. And the other two models I have were already primed and good to go, so that's about it. The rest was casting. Last week was a lot of casting. Well, 2 weeks ago, I think. To complete the gold tokens for everybody. I came out to the exact precise number of attendees we had.
Oh, that's good, though.
Yeah. So I won't need to ship anything or meet up with people locally. I'll have to ship stuff anyway because the other stuff didn't came in on time from the sponsors. I got the package on Monday.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And it's kind of a pain. It's a package where we have multiple small items, so people can pick at the end when we do the random draws.
Right.
So I have 12 of those. Small prizes to ship out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I left money in the budget when I realized they might not come in. And luckily, a lot of those have been picked up by locals. So for those, I'll just bring them to the next gaming night I can attend. And I think most of the items will fit in their small envelopes, small bubble envelopes. So they won't cost me a package shipping from Canada.
If stuff is going to the States, I am traveling to the States in less than a month.
Yeah.
So I can mail stuff inside the US, which is quite cheap.
Yeah, 1 or 2 might be going to the States. But I think bubble from here is not too bad.
Anyway, the option is there.
Yeah. I'll check. But
because I'm going down with my daughter for a few days, and I'm on my own schedule with no one else. So, well, no one else except the 5-year-old. And if I buy her a toy, then it doesn't matter what I do at that point.
Yeah. So, but that's mostly it. Hobby-wise, I did some cleaning, cleaned the model, started cleaning other models I got because I bought a small used Lutz for Pulp City once again. It's
I don't know how you keep finding these things. I keep messaging people because they say they've got stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, send me a list, and then I never get a list, and then you message that same guy, you get a list, and you buy his stuff. I'm like,
no, it's not the same guy. That guy I've not been able to get his list still.
Oh, okay.
No, it was another one. But I got the package. I
don't feel so bad.
Yeah. And I didn't play anything. I ran the Guild Ball Nationals, the East Guild Ball Nationals last weekend.
I think you meant to say the best Guild Ball Nationals. No, we don't know yet. But it was the best attended event in Canada yet. So far, yeah.
Yeah. Like last year, the Western upgraded us for a couple attendees. So this year we got 4 more than last year. We're up to 35, which is right now the running highest. We'll see how West does once they have their full registration. But
West has like a bunch of people registered, don't they?
No, they have registrations and they have the Meta Longshanks, which is not the same. So on Longshanks they have like a list of everybody that in theory could attend. But they are not final registrations or something like that. I don't have the exact story for that, but that was, I think, it was to give an idea of how much they could reach. Not too sure, but anyway.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
So you had how many attendees?
We ended up with 35 after the drops and no-shows.
Right. Okay, but you had 40 paid, right?
Yeah, we had 40 pre-registration paid through the store system.
And that's what matters for the Steamforge prize pool.
Right? That was confirmed after, but yes, so the winner, Alex Butts, got his entry for world and hotel accommodation paid. So
now he just has to pay for a flight.
yes, exactly.
Unless, of course, he goes and wins another national.
Yeah, but I think
yeah.
he won't. By talking with him, he didn't like the idea of if you're already in it, you shouldn't be running and make a mess of winning another one, and then how do they decide who goes and from which list does he take the prize or not? So I think he might skip the U.S. national.
Really?
Yeah, something like that.
That's a shame, but very honorable of him.
Mm-hmm.
He does seem like a very nice guy. I've met him briefly, had a little talk with him. He seems super nice and really down to earth. Not that I expect him to feel like he's a superstar, but in most games, when you talk to anyone who's good at a game, about a game, somewhere in that conversation they'll work in, do you know who I am? I am so-and-so, the champion of so-and-so. And legitimately, if anyone has the right to do that, it's probably Alex. Because you were probably not likely to find another Guild Ball player as good as him.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. It was, I didn't have much time to chat with the guys. Like, the event was run tight. We didn't have much time between rounds. I made sure to be on schedule. And like last year, I had to go back home after, so...
Well, it's tough, right? When you got a family.
Yeah, and on the second day, I had my son with me, so that made even less chat time.
Really?
Yeah, I brought my oldest. So...
Wow, okay. I didn't know that.
It was a shorter event. We only had 2 games on the Sunday. 2 games and tear down, so that was not too bad. But still, it was good. It was still a long time. We were at the store for 5 or 6 hours, so...
Yeah, and just to be clear, that is... Asking any kid to be patient for 5 or 6 hours is a challenge at best, right?
Yes.
So, and people may not realize that because they may not have kids or whatever, but kids don't come pre-equipped with patience.
Oh, no.
And your son does have some, attention difficulties, right? So,
yep.
To put him in a situation where he has to, sit there and be quiet or not to be quiet, but entertain himself for hours, that's tough.
Mm-hmm. I came equipped, and he had the right to pick something in the store after, so if he did good, and he did, so we came back with a special pack from the Detective Pikachu line for the Pokemon TCG.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good. A little reward sometimes goes a long way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But that's my gaming with the air quotes.
Yeah.
For the last weeks. I do have a game planned for the upcoming week, though, so that's at least that.
I wish I could say that.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't the game I picked, but at least I have one planned.
Well, we have a game this week, don't we? On Black Friday?
That was never confirmed.
Oh, okay, sorry.
So I didn't know.
Well, if you're still free on Friday, it should probably be okay.
Yes, I am.
Check what I'm saying. It should be okay.
So I'll be glad to play with you Friday too. So I might have 2 games this week, and 2 games I liked. So that's gonna be good. Yeah, I'll probably have a game of Aristea this week.
Oh, nice. With Mark?
No, with G, the owner of Labis.
Oh, yep. I didn't know he played anything.
Yeah, he play mostly board games, but he usually doesn't have much time to play. And the only time he's kind of free is super late at night once the store's quiet down, which is perfect for me.
Yeah, that really works. That really works for you.
When I am available, so That's perfect.
I kind of understand. That's really why I don't have any games anymore. It's just too hard. Most people I used to play with are either working late or just not available, or they've now, on the night that I used to go, they have other activities with like their spouses or girlfriends or whatever. So it's tough. I mean, you're sometimes available, but I can just go to your house any other night and play. So, So like aside from Steve, who again I can play anytime by going to his house, not a lot of
the other usual people you played with are available.
Actually, it's funny. I thought I was going to get a game in this week with another buddy of ours, Dan, because he called me out of the blue. And he called me a little while back mentioning wanting to play some War Machine.
Yeah, that's why you started painting your circle.
Yeah, so I was all excited. Like, oh, it's good timing because I just finished my stuff. It turns out he wasn't really calling for that at all. It was a case of, hey, remember those things we talked about a year ago? Like, yeah. He's like, do you still have them? Yeah. Can I come get them? Can we arrange something? Sure. So yeah, I was a little disappointed in that. But that's okay. I'll get some games in. I'll make it work somehow. I'm now attempting to use airbrush primer by brush.
Mm-hmm.
It does work, but it's awfully thin, so it'll undoubtedly require a couple of coats. Because I figured starting the airbrush would be something only Yom would do in the middle of a podcast. So.
And here's the jab.
Yeah, well, that's not so much a jab as a kick to the nuts. But I seem to recall he's done it to us before, so.
Did he?
I think so. And even if he didn't, I'll say he did, and who's going to know any better?
All these devotees fans that don't understand why we pick on him. And I say we, but it's mostly you who pick on him.
That's kind of our relationship.
Yeah.
I make a bunch of baseless accusations. He may or may not think I'm serious. There may or may not be a Facebook message sometime next week going, hey, is there an issue? No, just being a jerk. Oh, okay. So I think now it more or less defaults to I'm just being a jerk, and he ignores it.
Mm-hmm. It's mostly that now.
He actually says he finds it amusing, because it's like, looking for the Easter egg in the show, right? Like, when is Paul going to slide in a jab? I forgot to turn off my smartwatch, so that's going to be in the show too. Let me fix that so it'll stop dinging. There we go. No more interrupting the podcast. Yeah, so we've rambled a lot and not really said a whole heck of a lot. Your games? Did you?
That's about it. I didn't play anything. I ran a tournament,
Guild Ball
so I made people play. I made it possible for people to play.
Oh wait, last time we were on here, I hadn't had my game with Steve yet, had we? No.
Oh, I think that was right after. That's true.
Yeah, I did play a game. That's true. I played a game of Guild Ball with Steve. I blinked and it was over. Yeah, that's it. It did not go as I had hoped.
That was rough, if I remember correctly.
Well, I walked into it. I played a very, one-dimensional team. And, Guild Ball, to be fair, we were prepping for a tournament, right? Or mm-hmm. Steve was prepping for a tournament. I was kind of just trying to get rules refreshed because I hadn't played in forever. And I walked in, I plunked on my models, I forewent the draft cycle and everything. So I just plopped down my models, Steve picked his models, and then, as soon as the game started, I realized I made a grave error, and that it was basically gonna be an uphill slog all game. And then when it started turning into that, I threw in the towel. Just because I'm like, well, there is a chance I could do something, but it's a very slim chance, and I don't want to spend 2 hours, playing a game with, less than a 3% chance to win. It just was not going to be my day.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly. And, the next day Steve and I discussed it. Poor Steve felt terrible. I'm sure he thought I was mad at him, which really wasn't the case. I was annoyed that night, not really at him, just at the kind of the situation, and mostly myself for just not being super clear beforehand what I was going to do and what I wanted out of the game. Because if I would have told Steve I'm just going to play a fun little game, I just want a rules refresher, he would have played something fun and casual, and it would have been just fine. But I didn't specify that. Steve was, prepping for the Nationals like that week.
Oh yeah.
So I got what I deserved. But yeah, it was not a particularly fun experience through no fault of Steve's. I think that's just the big flaw of Guild Ball. Well, not flaw. I mean, it's a design choice, right? It's a soccer game. So, in the game, Steve basically ran the ball away from me and hid it from me for a little bit. And my team was a goal-scoring team with no other real way to make points because I was playing fish and particularly playing a shark who was a striker captain. So my super one-dimensional team lineup could do no damage to players, so I couldn't get points by taking out people. And
you didn't have much ways to get the ball back, from what I understood.
I had 0 ball retrieval.
Yeah.
So it's not a list I would play in a tournament, for that reason, right? It's just, yep. Anyway, so some friendships were nearly ruined, and yeah, I'm just kidding. Though I'm pretty sure Steve thought that was going to happen. Poor fellow. All right, so let's get on to the topic.
Yeah. So we've been talking about Pulp City, about painting for Pulp City and stuff like that, and the game being on the, mostly being closed. Let's be honest. But however, this week there's been an announcement.
Yep.
Kitbash Games, another company, has gotten into an agreement with, not an agreement, with collaboration, a partnership with Pulp Monster, which is the owners of Pulp City, to deliver the next era of Pulp City. So they will make sure the models come out, playtest new expansions to the rules, and stuff like that.
So if I understand correctly, the ownership of Pulp City hasn't changed.
No, the Pulp City is still owned by Pulp Monsters, which is the company from Maciej Zilewicz. I probably butchered his name.
That's much better than I would have done with it, so yeah. Congratulations.
So he's been the owner since the beginning. It's his idea. Pulp City is his games.
So it's like they licensed it, basically.
Yeah, that's about it.
Or they're managing it for him.
Yeah, that's how I understood it.
That was the big issue, right? He had no time to manage it anymore.
Yeah, because of other projects. So, yeah. And Kitbash Games is a smaller company. It doesn't even have a full project out. They were working on another superhero style game, which was Supers Unlimited, I think was the working title. That company is run by Leon Mallet, and Leon, for people who know Pulp Cities, is one of the creators of the Supremes edition of Pulp City. So he worked on the game. He knows it by art. So,
and this edition was the last edition that they launched.
That's
right?
the
that was the Kickstarter one.
actual edition one. So it's somebody who knows the game, and he decided to pick it up and work with Pulp Monsters to bring it forward. That's a really good announcement from my point of view. That's a really good thing. So both the game is back, and somebody who knows it and worked well in it is at the reign now. So.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? You're always worried when someone picks up a game, they're gonna either nothing's ever gonna happen with it,
or change it too much.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, TT Combat.
Well, Dreadzone Commander 2 just came out this week too. The new rules are out. The book Battle for Earth, which is both the second edition of Drop Zone and an expansion to Drop Fleet, just came out this week too. So there's life in the old games we liked.
Yeah. And I did see, actually, I say that, but I did see them also testing Dystopian Wars.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to come too.
But Dystopian Wars is not TT Combat.
Oh no, sorry.
Dystopian Wars, that's
Whaling Games?
Yeah. They have another name for the company that produces work on games, but yeah, that's Wayman.
That's right.
But yeah, they've got big announcements made too about that in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
So the only one we've not heard anything recently that would have liked is Relics.
That was TT Combat, was it not?
That was TT Combat, yes. Yeah.
That's such a cool world.
Yeah. They've worked a ton on Carney Valley. There's a bunch of stuff that's coming out for it. And that has been picked up by TT Combat too, so probably it's just they bought multiple games that were dying around the same time, and they probably just can't bring them all out at the same time.
They're also not a big company, right?
So. No. So Carney Valley is good, is alive. Drop Zone and Drop Fleet just got their new book and some new life pushed in them. So from what I understand, Rumble Slam is going strong too. So
I've actually heard a lot of good things about Rumble Slam.
Yeah, some locals just picked up the starter, so I've been tagged in conversation to try it soon.
Because Andrew...
Andrew pushed it hard in
Andrew Atkins.
Ottawa, yeah.
Yeah.
He's running an event for it at Capital City Bloodbath.
The game does look cool. I don't know if anyone carries the models, though.
Well, it's TT Combat. Do they have distribution?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if you have to buy direct or...
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Maybe in the States they do, like, eFigs or something.
Yeah, maybe.
They probably don't have a big distributor like ACD or whatever, but... Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah, so
Pulp City.
So Pulp City is alive again. In the case of
soft support,
yeah, Kitbash Games, they had a game out. It will be slowly be phased out. So I've been chatting with Liam about it. He already had models for it, so they will get profiles for Pulp City. I've seen one of the cards, by the way, Ace, which is one of the character from Supers Unlimited. He's already has probably a beta card. It's very be tested, but it's all laid out already. And they will also get profiles for Super Mission Force, which is a generic superheroes game too. So you build up your own models, your own profiles for models you own. So I didn't know about that one before, but that's all there for people who want maybe to use models from other lines like the now defunct Marvel.
I was going to say,
game.
Like the Marvel line.
Yeah. Or mixed models from multiple universe that don't have a base core game. So, like Marvel versus DC's, or maybe Pulp City stuff against one of the Marvel/DC big players. That's possible. But yeah, it's good news. There has been a call for playtesters for the new profiles. There's something like, I think, 30 profiles that are in work at various stages of completion. Some already have their models made. Some are just being in the artwork stage. But they're out there, and the playtester will get stuff to test soon.
And I believe you made it to that list, didn't you?
Yes.
So, by association, I also made it on that list?
Yeah, you and Yom. You and Yom.
Because you're going to need someone to, kill.
Nah, well, we'll see how it goes. We need to test stuff, so it's always fun. Especially for that game. I like that game so much. I've stopped getting into playtest and betas Because we have so many games, and there's no games I concentrate long enough time.
Yep, that's for sure.
To warrant that time. But Pulp City I like so much that I at least wanted to step in and see if I could help.
Yeah, well, you guys kept talking about it so much, I figured I had to buy models. That's why I got these. And then I was actually looking at a second Force because I wanted, heroes and villains.
Mm-hmm.
But they closed up shop before I could buy a hero team.
Yeah, sadly.
But now that's going to come back, so.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we'll see some recasts, or not recasts, but they'll start casting like models they'd run out of stock on.
Yeah, I also, like for my arc, I have all models except one. I'm missing one. I made a bad order sometime and forgot to order that one. So I'm missing one of the smaller mystical level 1 for the arc.
Yeah, I'm missing quite a few models. I'm missing.
Yeah, but by the time you ordered, especially the 2 new factions, the Super Alliance and I think Red Republics, a lot of those that came out with the Kickstarter and they were not all available. So
yeah, the bear Mechved was no longer available. The Cyber Bear, but Turncoat was. I could have gotten him. And
I think the robots.
I have robots.
Oh, you have the small robots?
Well,
they are minions or something like that?
Well, they're 1 point...
The small dogs? No, you have the small robots, but they also have dogs for both the heroes and villains, and those work as minions.
Oh. But none of my guys have minion ability that I have, so...
No, okay, but then it doesn't matter too much in your own
Maybe someone
selection.
else has it, but the 6 I have, I don't have any minion...
okay.
Any minion points.
Yeah.
So it's good. Usually when games disappear like that, they don't come back, right? Like, it's just done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice to see that in this case, and in some others recently, we're actually seeing, these games getting a second chance. And I played a demo of this game years ago, and I thought the mechanics were very, very interesting. And it really had a good superhero feel. But the models that were out at the time didn't really appeal to me.
Yeah, that was when they did the Supreme Edition Kickstarter. And since then, they came out with a lot of new models and some nicer sculpts. So.
And the thing is, like most games, the models I was seeing, like, the models might be nice, but lackluster paint jobs can really hurt the models.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at it and you're like, wow, this model is just bad. And it really, a bad paint job kind of hides the potential a lot of the time. So I think I didn't give it a fair shake, because now I look back at some of the older models, and they're not bad. Some of them are, have aged poorly, but others aren't terrible. And I didn't realize they're as good as they are. I thought they were far worse. So yeah, I guess you never can tell.
Yeah, not having interest in it, maybe. Like, you had the demo mostly because you picked up models I got because you picked up my Kickstarter pledge, if I remember correctly. Yeah,
but so I had a demo given by Devin.
Mm-hmm.
But I played a game. It wasn't just a regular demo because it was quiet. So he let me play a game against our buddy Guillaume.
Yeah.
So I played, I don't know, probably 6 points.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a 6.6 mini game. So I really did get a feel for the game mechanics.
Oh yeah, at 6 you get it's a small, but it's a full game.
Because we had 3 each.
Mm-hmm. Probably 3 level 2s.
Yeah, I had I can remember the guys, like, what they look like. And I don't remember if I was playing the villains or the heroes, but I remember the models from both sides. So yeah, and it was a really dynamic game. And I was like, well, this is really cool, but the models don't look great, and no one carries them, and like no one plays this game. So I didn't get in at that time. Now I kind of regret it, because you guys all played it, and you talking about it and were having fun, you played it sporadically.
Yes.
But for the amount of fun you were having, I kind of felt like I missed out. And then after years and years of wearing me down, I finally go to buy into it, and they close up the company. Like, damn it. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really glad it's back. Yeah, I got a laundry list of stuff I want to eventually get from them.
Oh, me too. Like, starting to think back about the game and what I have, and wanting to maybe promote it a bit more. Like, what could I get to make more factions or have demo sets? And I consider it mainly on art because I don't play much anyway. But I have other models because I bought a bunch of stuff used.
Well, yeah, we looked through it recently.
Yeah, but before, even when I got my initial models, it was before the Kickstarter, so I bought stuff from the first edition. So I have probably at least 10, 15 other models from the mix of the old starters and other stuff I picked since. And now I just bought a nature pack too, so I can probably make easily 4 teams. Like 4 probably 9-level teams, which is a good size, 9 level for an evening game. So I could make a nature one, generic villain, generic heroes, and my arc. Arc, I probably have enough to do 2 teams even if we wanted.
If you wanted a lot of monkeys.
Yeah.
But that can be thematic, right? Because you said that the leaders don't like each other. So you could actually have 2 different groups led by 2 different leaders fighting each other.
Yeah, there's three team in it. Like there's the 3 primates of power, nature, mystery, and science. And they fit
4. Okay.
No. The power is the name of the trio. So it's nature, mystery, and science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they each have kind of a thematic leader associated with them, which represent a sub-faction in the arc, in the committee. I don't think you could really make 3 different teams. There's probably not enough models available to do 3, but 2 could be easily done. Yeah. They're fun. Yeah, I look forward to, now that you have models, to play with you. Yom will eventually get a small break from commission and paint his Jade Cults. There's a bunch of other people who have some.
G has,
yeah, you have Grims and
right?
other stuff. Yeah, that game with G was fun when you played as Grims. We played at the old basement. And G making the noises and voices. It was super entertaining.
That must be a Guillaume thing.
Yeah.
Right? Because Guillaume also makes all the noises and the sound effects.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Watching them play Dust. All the pew-pews and...
yeah, that was true.
It was
epic.
It was funny, yeah. So.
Alright, so let's get to talk about...
There's more talk about the... there's a whole expansion probably that will come out. I don't know exactly what will be in it, but there's a bunch of new Supremes, and we got a small teaser. We have the name of 2 new Supremes coming out. We don't have roles, pictures, anything. We just have the names. That's something that Mallet gave us. Leon Mallet gave us to just talk about and maybe not brainstorm, but how do you say? Try to decipher what they mean.
Extrapolate from it, yeah.
Yeah, extrapolate. That's it. So, we have 2. First one is Liberty Eagle, and the second one is Crimson Carrion. Right away, it's kinda certain that they fit the Supreme Alliance and the Red Republic.
Yeah, so it's the Americans and the Russians, yeah.
Yeah. With their name, I don't know if they're gonna be like smaller models, like 8 level ones, or even kind of pets that works as minions. Get Eagle and Carrion. But they could...
Carrion doesn't mean...
It could be a vulture. It's generic enough.
Well, it could be a zombie. It could be anything, right?
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
We just don't know.
Mm-hmm. But they're probably full Supremes. But some of the names are pretty loose on descriptions.
Yeah. You just don't know. But I'm looking forward to this stuff. I wish we had a little bit more of a timeline. I mean, I'm just happy they've announced that they're going to be producing stuff and back in business.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty talkative, and being on the playtest team, I'll probably have information available. And they want to promote the game, and they want for it to go to be available. So we'll be able to talk about it more in future shows and know when it comes out for real and when stuff start being available. Like right now, they already worked on the website. So there is a beta, not a beta, but an errata that is out that covers the smash it up rule. Smash it up works when you interact with terrain. And that's one thing that Leon talked about is he wants to up the terrain interaction rules. Make them either more important or make them more easily available to more teams.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things about superhero combat, right?
Yep.
They're always throwing cars and stuff around and knocking down buildings and...
Yeah, I pick up my team based on that. Like, if I don't have a model that can interact with terrain, I'll switch my team selection. For sure.
Yeah, I don't even know how to tell, to be honest.
No, but yeah, that's it. There's two main rules that do that. It's the throw and the smash. Any rules with throw and any rules with smash will have terrain interaction.
Yeah, I don't think I have anyone.
Most of the people who can throw are the powerhouses.
Yeah, but I don't have. Well, there is a powerhouse model for my faction, but there's the bear.
Yeah, but you don't have it yet. Yeah. So eventually.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that errata. There is what they call the effect redux, which is just an update of the effects rules. The effects are all the special rules when you hit. So let's say I have an attack, you can do either damage or apply effects, which are like push, blast, attack one, which means you get bonus dice when you attack and stuff like that. So they updated the rules on some of them and added new ones that are not on models yet, but will be on upcoming models coming out soon. So there are some ins in that list on the website. And those two are already out and Interplay, so you can already play with the new Smash It Up rules and the new effects. Or the updated effects, the new ones, you don't have models with them. But, and that's all on the website. So, already available.
Very cool. Rocket fists, man. He's got rocket fists.
Yeah, I need to look at the rules for them. Yeah, I need to. But that's about it. Like, I'm super enthusiastic about, but there's not much else we can say because that's all. We have the announcement of the partnership, some of the rules update, and that's it. We'll see.
Well, does that make it a show for the week? Do we have anything else to add?
Yeah, there was one thing I wanted to talk about.
Was any of that new stuff?
Yeah, the new stuff. So there's a couple of models that came out for Twisted by Demented Games. That's an Australian company. And the two models just came out, but one I want to talk about specifically, the two models are the Rotten Mummy and the Scarab Mummy. I'll send you a link because it's not in the show notes yet. Sure doesn't help you finding them. So, I just want you to take a look at the Scarab Mummy. It's a bigger model of monstrous mummy, like with 4 arms, and the ends have been replaced by Egyptian-looking Sickle?
Sickles.
Sickles.
Did you send me the...
It's in the doc.
Okay, because I just looked at the doc. Oh, you did? Okay. I was looking for a new header and I didn't see it because it's not in a new header. Oh, that is creepy as all heck.
Yeah.
The pose looks a little weird because his groin is forward. Like, I understand what he's trying to look like.
Yeah, it's an insect, so the legs are a bit strange. Look more like kind of goat legs where the joint is reversed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a big insect wings in the back.
Well, I didn't look at the green, so... Oh, yes, I thought it was like a shield on his back or something. I didn't realize what it was. I see.
It's partly, like, it's a steampunk and sort of pirate games. Like, there's a steam something in the back. So, it's a mix of an undead, mix of an insect, and a steampunk machinery. So...
That sounds like all the best mixes.
Yeah. It's a pretty cool model. I don't have the size, though. He's 32 millimeter scale, because the game is. But that model specifically, he seemed to be on a bigger base compared to the Rotten Mummy that we see in one of the shared pictures. But I don't know if it's 30 and 40 or 40 and 50. I don't know how big he is.
Yeah, there's no way to really tell.
But it's a cool model. It's something different. It's not a theme we see often.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna guess those are 40 mils. At that price point, I don't think that's a single 32 mil model.
No, probably not. I wouldn't say 30. And probably not 50 at that size.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably a 40. Oh no! Scarab Mummy is a large 32 mil scale. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's gotta be a 40. They're probably the size of like a light warjack. Or a big guild ball player.
Yeah. So speaking of price, it's a $21 US. There's not a lot available right now. They are the resin edition, like collector edition they do at release. I don't know when they'll be available after in the regular release, which I think are metals, the regular release after that. But still. So if you want a strange steampunk Egyptian monster for your...
And who doesn't, really?
Yeah, either for the game, for Twisted, or it could work in some Pulp-inspired games, or...
Yes, you could have monsters attacking the city.
Yeah.
And then you have to defend them with your Supremes. Just saying.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean Pulp City, but yeah, that works too.
Always thinking, right?
Oh yeah, I have a giant dinosaur for that already.
That's true. You've painted that on the show?
Yeah. I played with it too, so.
I think that was the last time we had Yom on, wasn't it?
No, he wanted to be on the show, but he couldn't.
And
he
we
couldn't
were all
that
saved.
week, but we wanted to have him on. So.
You wanted to have him on, yeah. That's just being a jerk.
Yeah, let's say it like that. And
wow,
that's a show.
Your laugh was so loud it actually disconnected me.
Oh wow!
When you laughed, Skype actually the camera froze, and Skype just stopped sending audio because I guess it didn't know what the heck you were doing. That's funny.
Oh wow! So is Skype still frozen?
No. I can hear you, and your camera's moving again. So
okay.
Hopefully, we won't lose sync because of that.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
Be happy to know,
it's the end of the show.
While I've been sitting here shaking my paint, I've managed to hit not only my exercise goal for the day, but my steps for the day.
What? Sitting, you hit your steps.
Yeah, and in fact, I was shaking with my right hand when my pedometer is on the left, so I guess I'm a whole body shaker, I guess. It's yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. Cause like, why does my watch keep like beeping me for stuff? What's going on? I was like, oh, you hit your goal. Oh, you hit your goal for this. You hit your goal for that. I think I've almost got my exercise goal for the day. I got my walking goal. I got my standing goal from that somehow. And I'm almost close to my exercise ring by shaking paint. Life is good.
Mm-hmm. Paint more.
Yeah, apparently. That's the key to weight loss. Paint. According to my Apple Watch. Anyway, enough of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as always, it's been fun, and I'll be looking forward to that game on Friday, Antoine. I'll see you then.
Okay. Bye, Paul, and bye, geeks.
Thanks for listening to Geeks of the North. If you want to contact us, you can email us at geeksofthenorth@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geeksofthenorth, or follow us on Twitter at Geeks of the North. You can follow me, Paul, at PRFilio, Antoine at Eltonio Berg, Steve at B_Steve, and if you really feel the need, I guess you can follow Yom. He's at Yomasta. Breaks and outro music by Ladrave. You can listen to them at ladrave.bandcamp.com. See you next time, geeks.
Thank you for checking out United Geeks Network family member. If you enjoyed it and are looking for other online media with a geek culture slant, head over to UnitedGeeksNetwork.com, where you will find Zero Budget Geek, a YouTube channel covering board games, video games, and other geek stuff. You'll find Let's Play and how to play videos of different board games and video games, as well as reviews. The United Geeks Network. You can broadcast your geekiness at UnitedGeeksNetwork.com.